Hi there, internet. So first of all, let's consider this. Just talk about, like, my time. This is my time capsule video, shall we say, on my mental health and just the stage I'm at the moment. I've got to remember the camera is there now. I've got a new phone. I keep looking at myself, but I shouldn't. But I am currently having like a bit of a low time at the moment, and it is getting to me again. So I just want to essentially let's just briefly call this, the depression one. Yeah, let's just working title this one as Depression Time Capsule or something. So yeah, here I am doing, recording in my room, but I'm afraid, collection of horses. Literally my room is a mess at the moment, I do apologise. So, as this moment, we've just got through bits of September. I'm on the verge of giving up, honestly. Just, it's fighting the urge to just pack up my stuff, grab my tent, and just throw everything in my car and just go somewhere. Because things get bad, things get really bad. I haven't really had depression like this before. This has all come about since last December, let's say December, I would say, from a breakup. And it does sound really pathetic to even say that that's what's caused my depression and just where I am at the moment, but it is literally, I just got sent into exile. To fucking quote what my ex told me that he was struggling with, I have also now lost the passion for life. I've been put exactly where I never wanted to be, which is at my parents' place. It has not at all felt like home. Never. And honestly, I am just struggling being confined to a single room where all my stuff is in a storage unit and not having my own space. So you can see, still quite a sore subject. I am getting actual help later this month. Start my first session at the end of the month, but it's still like, I'm welling up now thinking about it. Triggered myself. But it's hard doing that, waiting to get the first step into therapy, because I'm like this constantly. Yeah, I'm just waiting to get my own space. Like I'm at the level of giving up where I am done being here. It's nearly been a year and I can't do it anymore. So I've sent out a couple of CVs for essentially going back to my hometown. So I seem to boomerang there all the time. This is not my original hometown. My parents moved in 2013 from our hometown, but I always end up going back. And even though my family's here, it just hasn't felt like home to me at all, because this was not the house I grew up in. Yeah, I need desperately to get out of here, and I'm in the process of getting out of here, even if it is just looking for house share rooms at this point. There's a couple up there that are, conveniently female-only lodgings type things, and there's a lot more people in my age group, turns out, rather than just youngsters, which is a good thing. But I would like my own place eventually. My job is now getting to the point where I'm quite done with it. I am good at it. That's something I've learned about going back into properly working, even if it is a retail-based job. I am too good at my job. I'm too good of a worker, apparently. Like, I'm so good at the undisclosed sushi place that I work that I will have everything done and wrapped up by 2:30 when my shift ends at 4, because it's not that I don't have enough to do. It is literally, I work so fast, even in automatic, and I can't stop myself. Like, even my manager is like telling everybody how quick I work. And since the work has taken a new direction, like they've gone franchise rather than stay corporate, I think it's not going to help me out, honestly. I've lost a lot of resources. I never used the discounts in the first place, but since we've not been with corporate, that's all gone, all those perks and everything. The only difference is we get more freedom to do what we want in the kiosk. We get more freedom to make different things. I think the pay is a bit better because it's under a new management situation, but that transition has been difficult, and it's affected how I've set up my finances, honestly. And I don't want to bring my finances into it because no one needs to know, but it was like everything was smooth sailing until August. I'm in a bad place again. I just feel like I've gone entirely back to square one. I did something that I feel was irredeemable last month as well, which is haunting me. And it's just put me back to square one. I've relapsed back to where I was when I first got here. And the goal now, I couldn't give a shit about Christmas at this point. I just need to get out of here. Just thought there's another, like, the reason I've finally, it's taken a year, but I've finally got around to properly getting referred for therapy and stuff like that. I've had counselling. I've had a little bit of counselling, did at the start of the year. I was on the up at the start of the year, but I wasn't really doing it for me, if I'm honest. But the main reason I wanted to, or I suppose I gave in, the main reason I gave in and asked for help is I did something I feel was irredeemable. It essentially was a repeat of something that happened last year, but this time my friends got burnt. I have a fucking awful temper, and it hasn't really risen its head in quite some time. But it does come from a lot of jealousy, upset, and anger. So jealousy normally being the one that drives it through. And I know this. I know I do it to the point where I actually created a various form for my OC, which was like all the worst parts of my personality manifested into a character. Every now and then she likes to rear her head, and this one was bad. It's been like a few weeks now, and it does just feel like I've literally thrown myself back in time a year, and it feels like a fresh breakup. But to everybody else, it's not, and it just makes me feel absolutely pathetic. This is why I've sought therapy at long fucking last. It's just taken a year. I didn't want to lose more friends, so that's why I'm doing it. Because they've been telling me all that time to do it, and I finally did it because I broke. And I don't ever want to do that again, honestly. Sorry, I really shouldn't upload a photo of me crying to the internet, really, should I? But again, this is hopefully for a time capsule purpose to see how far I've come since recording this video. I've had low points in my life, even in another relationship, where I just felt, worthless, like, what am I doing here situation, and do I matter? But there hasn't ever become this full-blown depression that I'm suffering at the moment. And another reason I desperately need to get out of here is I am, not to fucking dox myself, but I am in Cornwall, like right on the bottom of the map, and just getting out to see my friends or having my friends even come to see me, it's impossible. It's near impossible. It takes 2 hours just to get out of the county. 2 hours to get out of the county. And then God knows however long it is just to travel around the country to see my friends, to go to events. But if I can get back to my old hometown, the travel to anywhere else in the country is easy, because it's despite still being in the southwest, it's still quite a central location. It's easily accessible on main roads and motorways, and it's got a mainline train station, and the airport is like 40 minutes away should I have to fly. But the grass is actually greener, even if I'll be on my own. I've got some very close friends that live up there too, and even for my friends it's easier for them to get there than it is here. I do swear that 2024 is such a cursed year, not just for me, but I've seen it with all my friends. We've had so much bad luck this year. And I am hoping 2025 is just going to be, much better year. Like 5 is my lucky number too, so I'm hoping it'll be better. It's very clear nothing is easy, and the same thing has happened with my artwork. Okay, the singing has increased a little bit because that's just me venting, expressing myself. A lot of like self-therapy for myself is music based. I have certain songs that just talk to me when I'm this low. I've been, not to be the scene kid or anything like that, but I have been back to Linkin Park that band has just been, you know, it's always been there at my lowest, and for some reason I've been ignoring the last 2 albums, so I've been listening through that, and it's had a couple of eye-opening songs. We all know the outcome of Chester Bennington, so obviously that's not any parallels there, but it's like you can, when you're this low, you can genuinely feel and like know what he was going through when he wrote those lyrics. But yeah, with my creative outlets, I've got the big con next month, and I've just been rejected for trading at another one, which I wasn't putting all my eggs into that one, but it was just like, hey, that would be nice little boost if I can get a table at that one. But because furries have gone so fucking mainstream, everybody's like booked out everywhere. Furry fandom is just too big. It's such a fight to get a trading table. It's become a fight just to get tickets to even attend, honestly. And this is one of the smaller. This con was not sold out last year, but now it's just like rammed this year for some fucking reason. Yeah, there's a pro to being, you know, furry and enjoying being a furry, and then there's a massive con, literal con, to being a creative furry. I've found this year, having been stuck on my own, having lost my ex, and having lost like his connection to him, I have lost a lot of audience, because he really was he really was my cheerleader. He was really putting my work out there and getting interest for me, and it's gone. And it's such a fight when you don't have an audience. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and it was just so much easier back then. I don't know how any of the freelance artists survive this day and age. I really don't. It's such a fight. It's so oversaturated. I had a horrible awakening when I went to the Cardiff meet and tried to introduce myself and say, hey, I do artwork, only for people to be like, yeah, cool, and then show that they draw too. It's like, oh, well, okay. Clearly I'm too outdated. I've got nothing to like put myself out there anymore. You know, I just felt so insignificant and found it really hard to make new friends or make new connections, because again, this fucking fandom, everybody's much younger than me. Everybody has ADHD by default. And they don't give a shit about you unless you've got a fursuit, honestly. They don't even care if you've got a partial fursuit anymore. It's full fursuits only. So that was a very hard truth to deal with, trying to be in a new place, new people. I'm just a bit of a has-been, it feels like. Like, I've had my day. Well, I've had very little motivation to draw. I've got a few weeks just to pull together some traditional art to sell at the con I'm doing. And I was supposed to have some customised horses, but I can barely finish one at the moment. Mainly due to motivation, depression, and money just to get paint. It's been a bit of a blow. But the artwork, it's just the traditional art. I do pen and marker pen based stuff and sketches, which I think most of it will have to be sketches now. I was supposed to do tons whilst on holiday, but I had depression just take 3 days of that way. So I just wasted like 3 days of depression. The weather was shit anyways. We didn't go out. I didn't get to go to the places I wanted to. I didn't really have anybody to talk with or hang out with. I'm already stuck with my parents here. I didn't want to be stuck with my parents the entirety of our holiday as well, which is what happened. And I just essentially just went solitude mode. I wanted to be away from people because I had nothing. And so because of that, I could only manage a couple of headshots really and some digital art. I rough inked out and light boxed some of the traditional stuff, but I haven't touched it. I haven't gone to town on my inking. I haven't coloured any of them. So I'm a bit worried. I'm still hoping, well, this particular con is one I normally do quite well profit-wise at, and attention-wise and audience and, you know, everything. I'm known at this con. I've been doing it since 2015. Christ, that's a long time. I'm hoping the money from that con is going to go towards getting a deposit just for a room share or a small flat, just so I can restart. Also, my depression has got to the point where I don't want to eat anymore. And my fitness, my weight, and my diet is just enraging me so much that it's become quite a problem. Half the time I mean, when I moved here, I complained that portion size that mum puts out too fucking small, especially when I'm having a fish and chip night. And then just getting really annoyed when she says, oh, why don't you finish off the chips, or why don't you have some more? And I'm just sat there like, I've been criticised about my weight my entire life. Why are you telling me to eat more? So it's things like that just getting to me. But I've lost a fair bit of weight since being here, and it is down to starving myself from depression because my appetite is just gone. I mean, losing the weight at last is a good thing, but I'm not, you know, I'm not gaining much muscle mass. My diet is fucked, and it's not doing my health any good at the moment either. So right now I haven't actually eaten anything this morning. It's nearly 11 o'clock and I can feel I'm really, really hungry. But I know as soon as I try and go and make myself a meal or anything, I just don't want to eat it. So, good. I've developed a fucking bad eating habit. Eating disorder, I suppose. I mean, I already have potentially a health condition, a genetic condition that means it's very, very hard for me to lose weight like properly like anybody else. I could go to the gym regularly and it would still not budge. It would take so long to budge. And we kind of noticed it like the first 2 months where I was here. I did literally starve myself and I barely lost any weight. Yeah, so that's a fun part of it as well. At work, I hate having a break because it breaks my focus and I feel very exhausted as soon as I sit down and have a break. So I haven't got into the habit of skipping my breaks yet, but I've started getting back to forcing myself to have my lunch because I just don't want to eat it. It's fucking awful, it really is. As someone who, again, who has been ridiculed most of my life for eating too much, or not eating too much, no, for being a larger person. Like, I am large, I am also quite tall, so I'm not, this is where we found it's not obesity I have, it is something else. Because I don't struggle to move or anything, I don't struggle to breathe, I don't have the signs of obesity that you would expect. I'm just large. Yeah, it's something that therapy should help with as well. I just noticed at work it's starting to become more of a problem and I'm burning myself out at work as well. Again, I'm sorry that I have to cry on camera. I thought I could talk about this, but clearly I can't. And yeah, this is supposed to be for when I am in a better place. I can look back on this and see where I was. Maybe some of you guys can relate to this. Maybe you've been in this situation before or you're also there. Again, this has just been such a terrible year. This time last year I still had everything and now I've got nothing. Yeah, here's hoping things start looking up next month, but this month it's hard. And it will be hard, but as everybody keeps telling me, we are going to get there. Sorry guys, I promise I will do a more uplifting vlog next. It's just, I thought it's hitting me hard at the moment. I thought I'd be real with you. As I said, this is for me to look back on anyway, and maybe for you guys who are my friends and support me, you can also see how far I've come. And it'll cheer me on. So please note, should you want to start an evoke drama on this channel or about me, I'm not putting this on. I couldn't force myself to cry if I wanted to, honestly, although now I've got various triggers that could probably do it. But right now I'm just having a depressive week. And I thought I'd be real with you guys, since that's what the purpose of these vlogs is to be. I'm not going to hide too much. I mean, vlogging is supposed to be for the vlogger to look back on, you know, record memories. I suppose I don't really want to record this one, but that's what vlogs are for. And just to, since I've got no one to share my experiences with really, that's why I'm making these. I'm sorry for this one being such a downer. Maybe it will help some of you guys to see someone else who's dealing with a lot. Thank you for sticking out this far, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys around on a much happier vlog. Alright.